Spiritual Connect Radio with your host tonight, Chris Pender Sr. and your three special guests. Welcome to Above Average Life. In the studio tonight, live. We're on here, man. We got a special guest on there. I know I had to keep them on track. Make sure they keep it clean. This is radio. This is radio. I gotta remind us, bro, where we at.
Sometimes currency can be spiritual.
You know, sometimes we get in our bag and we're funny, we forget the bag that we're in.
I've never heard you say it in your bag.
I just want to make sure, man. But yo, welcome to the show, man. I'm excited about this. I'm here with my two boys and my third boy. Justin is part of the family, man. So we're here tonight, man. So, you know, like I said, hey, I'm Chris Pender Sr. and they can introduce themselves so we can get rocking and rolling. Tonight we're going to be talking about relationships. This may be a 12-part series by the time we're done. But we're talking about relationships. I think we're going to cover all bases. So, hey, fire away. You first, Dad.
Go with an introduction. Devin Pender. Just want to say shout out to all my Phoenix Suns fans out there.
Let's move on.
We in the finals, baby. We did it.
Yeah, he's still riding on that high. This is Chris Pender Jr. I mean, if you've been tuning in, I'm a basketball player, coach, working tech, and I'm just excited to talk about this topic. I'm really past introductions right now.
I'm Justin Lamar, Philadelphia-based comedian, father, entrepreneur, and funny philosopher. That's a great introduction.
And you like that?
You like that?
And he got that deep, very white
And
radio.
the very white voices. Ladies and gentlemen, we talk about relationships.
Yeah. But we will get into it, man. So who wants to kick us off, man?
And so I think one thing that Devin and I have been talking about consistently, and then Justin too. I mean, he's different. He married, but
Different.
It's a very side of the table, man. But it's hard out here dating right now in 2021 versus I'm sure when you grew up is tremendously different. And I feel like Justin may be in a similar boat where we were brought up on kind of old school values, you know, like be a gentleman, hold the door, be chivalrous, and a lot of those things, they don't exist, nor do they get appreciated for anymore. So it's just like we had to kind of change our game on the fly here. And I think a big part of kind of where you see a lot of issues in today's relationships is there's a lot of fear and uncertainty, and people just don't know what they're doing. People don't know what they're doing, myself included. I fall in that category sometimes too. You know, I think one thing that was major for me recently, in my last kind of failure here, is just learning accountability. You know, like I think that's something that's big and missing in a lot of relationships. Just people lack accountability, and just they don't realize how much work it is. Relationships is work, but I'm ready to dig into this if you can't tell.
I'll remind everybody, tune in. We didn't do Facebook Live tonight because we recorded for our podcast. So tell your friends, 215-782-8464. So put that ice cream bar down, man. And, you know, the Sixers game on tonight. Right. Eagles news is old news. So let's dig into this deep tonight, man.
Yes.
So let's, first of all, the difference is when I was dating, first of all, no social media. So you could do stuff and not get caught. Not that that's
You can have a family across town when nobody knew. There's no mutual friends.
Not that that's the theme of relationship. Right. I'm just saying, it was different.
Oh, gee.
You know, now everybody filming stuff, man. You know, you anywhere you go. So you don't even have to know somebody. And they see something they think interesting, man. They just film. You know, and then when I was growing up, the no snitching wasn't about crime. It was about you didn't tell on your boy. You just did not do that. You know, people let you.
Now the boys telling on themselves.
We had rules in the hood. Remember, they used to laugh at me all the time. Just man, certain things we did not do. But I think the big thing about relationships back then, I think women were different, and I think guys were different. I mean, back then, I think most women were looking for the relationship, and they were willing to bend and twist a little bit to have a relationship. You know, and I think the problem is now we get into it. Back then, like my parents kind of talked to me about relationships. You know, back then I remember my parents talking to my sister all the time about relationships. What you do in a relationship? You don't have that now. You know, you got moms telling you, and we talked about this last week. Well, you know, you gotta give something to get something. He ain't giving you no money, he ain't getting no honey. So this whole conversation about dating is different. I think more guys, and my last point, I think more girls take on the guys' role now.
That's definitely it. And I just think now more so than apparently back then, there's a lot more options with, you know, Facebook, you know, Instagram, You got some of these dating apps like Tinder,
Just keep swiping, you should see them all
you just
day.
keep swiping left and right.
They even got sex dolls. You haven't got to get a real
I'll
woman.
make you laugh now.
Yeah.
Because I think music is part of the problem, man. Because it's music I listen to. You can't even talk to the girl that you can't even talk to while you dancing. She can be saying I'm a psychotic maniac, and you like, yeah.
Yeah, I know he like a toxic shit.
Inspired,
Yeah. That's what Cardi did. say.
Like no, kind of like I think one thing that you said that's key is social media. It just kind of ruins people's perspective of the world and reality. A lot of times what people forget, when you see social media, that is a finished product. You know, like they're just showing you the highlight of whatever moment it is that they want you to see. You know, so I think people look at that and be like, oh, I want that, without realizing that it's a bunch of work that's going on behind the scenes.
But I think the problem with social media is it creates a lot of false perceptions. You know, for people my age, remember the movie I'm Gonna Get You Sucker? And he takes the girl home. You know, he starts getting ready to get into him. She said, wait a minute, I gotta change. She takes off her hair, phony hair. She takes off her phony eyelashes. She takes off her